because your EIN is completely public. Anyone can go on a Secretary of State, find your company name, find your EIN, and open a company in your name or, a product in your name. If your Secretary of State doesn't match your Dunn's, doesn't match your Equifax, doesn't match your credit safe, when you go to apply for a card or a loan and the underwriter see two different addresses, guess what? The system's going to automatically decline. The way business credit works is it's not just one bureau and one snapshot. You have to form the 360 around your company.
What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the Legally Clueless Entrepreneurs Podcast. If you are new here, I'm your host, Shai Bibia. And yes, I named this podcast the Legally Clueless Entrepreneur because it is literally for all of us who are figuring it out along the way and thriving while doing it. I like to say you don't need to have all of the answers to start and finish a great thing. And trust me, there are times and there are days when I don't feel like I have a clue of what I am doing, okay? But you know what? I figure it out and I make it happen anyway. My mission is to empower women entrepreneurs to take bold steps, launch their businesses, and create something thriving. I'm here to share lessons, side hustle strategies, and business gems to help you elevate your life and business. Now let's get right into today's episode because I'm super excited to speak to today's guest. Okay, I have the honor of speaking with Mr. Aaron Velazquez, the visionary founder and CEO of FairFigure. His journey from bookkeeping to entrepreneurship is nothing short of inspiring. He's dedicated to empowering everyday entrepreneurs by providing the tools and insights they need to navigate the complex world of building business credit. Under his leadership, FairFigure has become a trusted resource for small businesses looking to build financial stability and growth. Now let's get right into the episode.
Yeah, I'm doing good today. Can't complain. I'm in New York City, so it's very holiday and festive right now, which is always nice.
It's very cold, right?
Very well. It hasn't been too bad this week, but I think on Sunday it's going to be like 1 degree centigrade, like 27 degrees here. So chilly. Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't miss about New York.
Yeah. Where are you based out of?
Well, technically Dallas, but we just relocated to Thailand for a bit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I was just in Manila like 2 weeks ago.
You said you were here 2 weeks ago?
No, I was in Manila. In the Philippines.
Manila. Yeah, Philippines, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I was visiting a buddy out there, so it's cool. And actually, I met up with another streamer in the space too, so it's cool out there. Very good time.
Ah, that's amazing. Philippines is on our list. Awesome. Okay. Well, it's such a pleasure to have you on today's podcast episode. And I have to say, I'm super excited about this episode because it does align perfectly with what I've been sharing over the past couple of years on my channel, business funding, business credit insights, and all of that. And interestingly, just a few weeks ago, I released an episode diving into one of FairFigure's core products and how it can help entrepreneurs and all of that. And here we are now, ready to explore even more about your products and services. But what makes this conversation especially exciting is the new integration with Dun Bradstreet, right? The OGs of business credit. So I can't wait to dive deeper into that. But before we get into all the details, though, I always love learning about the people behind the brands. So could you start by introducing yourself to the audience and sharing the inspiration behind FairFigure? I'd love to hear how your personal journey led to its creation.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the intro, for sure. Yeah, so I'll give my intro, and then my co-founder's not with me, but I think it's important to the story of what FairFigure is and who we are. Aaron Velazquez, CEO and co-founder at FairFigure. My journey as an entrepreneur started very young. I've always been, that person selling stickers or pens at school. One of my first businesses, maybe like a lot of you on this podcast, I had an Airbnb business doing all that. I was doing web design for a bit, but I really stood into my stride, a few years ago, pre-COVID. I started a B2B apparel manufacturing company. And during COVID, we grew from, 1 or 2 people to 40 employees, 20,000 square foot warehouse. It became a massive success. And one of the things we were offering on it were invoices, it was B2B. So we'd offer net 30 or net 60 terms. And people started coming into the product and like, hey, who do you report to? And I'm like, what are you talking about? We sell t-shirts. So that's kind of how I stepped into this space. And then, people are asking, it's like, where do I go check my scores? How do I, do something with this? So I said, okay. So I grabbed two of the engineers. I'm like, okay, let's go build FairFigure. I ended up exiting that company, and I took FairFigure along with me. So it's my baby now. And maybe 2 years ago, I met with my co-founder, Felix, and he's actually JP Morgan Chase. So he was into mortgage underwriting. Previously, he had a small business fund. So they originated something like $20 million in capital in the past year. So he had a lot of experience in the space with small businesses, lending, credit scores, etc. So it's a perfect match. I had the techie side and the programming. He had the finance background. So that's kind of how we came together and built this product.
That's amazing. And so how did you guys meet? I'm not sure if
It was through a mutual friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So
How
it's like,
fortunate.
it's like, it was kind of like meant to be type thing. Sometimes you follow these weird paths in life and you meet people that you never thought you'd meet and you have a
Yeah,
coffee and then you co-founder.
that's amazing. And what's interesting is that when you started that B2B business in the past, so it sounds like you didn't really know about business credit, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I had an idea of it, but I didn't know the extent of how large the market is and how much is growing.
Mm,
And I'd say like in the past 5 years, it's becoming so prominent that, a few
yeah,
years ago, if you walk around Main Street USA and you go business credit, they go, what? But now, you talk to a lot of people and they know about their Dunn's number. They know about their scores. They know they need to get their trade line. So it's cool seeing this industry kind of from the floor and kind of seeing where it's going to go and allowing FairFigure to be a part of that journey and help navigate which direction this whole industry goes in.
yeah, that's amazing. Awesome. So, for those who are new to FairFigure, could you give an overview or a breakdown of some of the core products and services that FairFigure offers?
Yeah. Absolutely. At our core, we're aiming to position ourselves as a Credit Karma, but for small businesses. So we want to be a one-stop shop. It's a place for you to check your business credit scores. Right now, you can view your credit safe score, your Equifax commercial score, and then on Friday, you can check your DNB score. And we have some more news coming for next year with other bureaus, but that's where we are right now. So you can check your scores. We also have our own proprietary foundation score, which was based off of my co-founder's underwriting guidelines when he was in the small business funding world. So he took all of his underwriter guidelines and we basically handed it to our engineers and turned it into an algorithm. So it's pretty cool. So it'll predict your score of 1 to 100% of getting funding today and about how much you could expect to get, at least from revenue-based financing. So that's free as well. Another product on the service, that's on the free tier. On the premium tier, it actually reports as a utility trade line. So as you all know, with business, you need diversity in your trade lines. It used to be you just get your net 30 and you move on. Now it's like your personal credit. They want to see a car payment. They want to see a credit card. They want to see a mortgage. It's the same thing with business credit. So utility trade line is going to be like your phone bill, the lease, internet bill. So the premium honor reports as a utility trade line. So that's one of the products there.
So that's like a subscription?
Yeah, it's $29 a month for the
Okay.
subscription. You get all your credit scores monitoring. You also get our darknet monitor. Small business identity theft is on the rise right now. And the reason is because your EIN is completely public. Anyone can go on a Secretary of State, find your company name, find your EIN, and open a company in your name or a product in your name. So that's part of our premium platform is we're checking data breaches daily for you. So we download them off the internet, see if there's a match, if it's alerted. It'll tell you, hey, you may want to change this, you might want to update, you might want to put a fraud alert, etc. The next cool tool on the premium that I really like, and no one else is doing this, is our credit correct tool. With consumer credit, we have FCRA, right? So if there's something wrong with your credit report, you send a letter to the bureaus and they have X amount of time to respond to it to correct information. With business credit, that doesn't really exist. It's unregulated, right? So there's no elegant way to go correct your information. So if your Secretary of State doesn't match your Dunn's, doesn't match your Equifax, doesn't match your credit safe, when you go to apply for a card or a loan and the underwriters see two different addresses, guess what? The system's going to automatically decline. We collect your documents information, we validate you, and then we liaison that information on your behalf to the bureaus that can correct it for you. So we work as like an intermediary to help correct that information for you.
Hey, high earners, are you ready to build solid business credit to better position your business for funding and grow your business? Well, I have some exciting news for you. I have some new coaching slots coming available 2025 where we'll be working closely together to help you implement strategies to build your business and corporate credit, better position your business for funding, and increase your business revenue. So if you've been thinking, you know what, I'm tired of being at this standstill, I want my business revenue to grow. I want to attract more clients, more customers. I want to increase my revenue, and I need that step-by-step guidance and blueprint will be helping you implement proven strategies for growth that we've already taken a number of our clients through. So if this sounds like you, there'll be an application link to apply. Be sure to apply before coaching spots fill up. Let's make 2025 your best year yet. So that's awesome. So you're saying that you guys have now an internal score.
Yeah, we have our own internal scoring model that's given away for free. So you sign up, connect, and you can see, between 1 and 100, what your probability of funding is. So it's really cool. I don't know if it cut off, so I was talking about the Credit Correct tool, which I think is my favorite tool.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's where we got cut off at.
Okay, because this one's really cool, and it kind of goes along with their ethos, because there's other players in the space, and I'm not going to mention any names, but they're fantastic platforms, and they've been around and established. But we're trying to be the challenger platform. And by challenger, I don't look at us as direct competition, but I look at us like innovators. So we're not corporate, we're not big. I sit with my co-founder, my engineers, customer services over there. We're listening to customers on the ground and can make changes and iterate quick. So that's why I really like this tool, because no one else is doing it. It's called Credit Correct. And with consumer credit, you have FCRA. And with FCRA, if there's something wrong on your personal credit report, you send it to the bureaus for them to correct it. They have X amount of time, but they legally have to correct the information, right? Mm-hmm. With business credit, it's unregulated. So they don't have to do anything, and they'll take months to do it. And the issue is that if you set up your company with a registered agent, maybe you got their free postal box, and then you got a virtual office or an office, and Equifax reads that. And then you got a net 30 account where you put a typo and D&B has this address. And then you could have 4 different addresses, wrong suite number, everything across the bureaus. And what happens is if you go to apply for a loan, open a bank account, get a credit card, the system is going to see the discrepancies and just give you a decline right off the bat. So what we did is we created a tool, Credit Correct. It's on our premium. It goes through our sponsor bank flow. So your KYC, KYB validated, so we know who you are. You upload supporting documents, which could be utility bill, bank statement, something proof of your address. And we take this data and we liaison it directly to the bureaus for them to correct it for you.
That's amazing. That's amazing because, I've been doing this whole business credit thing for past couple of years, maybe 3 years solid. And I've never really heard about a tool that helps to correct the business side of things. I know about the personal side of things. Yes, as a consumer, you can write to the different credit bureaus or, there are some tools. I'm not sure if we're thinking about the same thing for the personal side. But for the business side, you don't really hear about that. So that's very innovative. And I think a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs are going to appreciate that.
Yeah, it's twofold. So we pitched it to our customers and they loved it because it's a big pain point. How do I correct this? This is wrong. And then we pitched it to the bureaus and they loved it as well because they don't have the infrastructure to handle this. They still have a mail department or fax department. We're leveraging our sponsor bank's technology to validate who the customer is so they know our data is a source of truth. And then we're bringing it directly to them. So the bureaus are happy with the information. They're getting fresh, correct, live information. Our customers are happy because they're updating their information, which is very frustrating for them. And, it just works really nice symbiotically.
That's amazing. Awesome. Okay. So earlier you mentioned something about, you said Friday, people are going to be able to check their Dun Bradstreet score.
Yes.
Right? That's what you said. Okay. So now I would love to hear about this new integration that you guys are launching with Dun Bradstreet. How will this collaboration enhance the services that you currently provide to entrepreneurs? What does that look like?
Yeah, we're really excited to be working with Dun Bradstreet, and they're excited as well. A few reasons why. One is that, customers are able to check their scores with us, which helps their ecosystem and also helps the small business because the way business credit works is it's not just one bureau and one snapshot. You have to form the 360 around your company, right? So it starts with your company name, your SIC code. Do you have your website, Secretary of State, business bank account? Do you have your Equifax? Do you have your DNB? You're trying to paint the full picture for an underwriter, and it's not just one piece and one piece right here. And DNB is a big part of this ecosystem for that picture. So we're excited to have them on our platform. What we're doing a little bit differently is, we're looking at how people read their reports and we look at the questions that come in on the reports. And a lot of people have questions about their trade lines and trade line balances and past due. And there's a lot of questions around like what this information actually means. And sometimes people will focus on one pinpoint and get frustrated. We want to paint the picture of how to actually read these reports, right? And it's not just a PDF you print out and look at it, look at my trade lines. It's like, okay, what does this number mean and what do I do next? So First is on the displaying information. The way we display on our foundation report is similar to a personal bureau report, a tri-bureau. So you can actually see your information line by line by line with the bureaus, which no one else is doing that. So you can compare information and find discrepancies in there and see, okay, what's not aligned, what's matching, et cetera.
Yeah.
The second thing we're working on, which is really, really cool, it's going to be Q1, so like probably January, maybe a little bit sooner, hopefully. We're starting to actually use AI to ingest this information and build insights for you. And I'm not talking just chat GPT, how do I build my business credit score? It's going to actually look at your trade lines, your payment performance, if you have the FairFigure card, your FairFigure card payment history, and how your scores are going up. And it's going to generate probably like a 2-minute podcast for you each month with narrators on what you should do next and what your scores mean.
Wow.
It's really, really cool. Yeah, super
Yeah,
excited.
that is next level.
Yeah, I got a sample of it yesterday from my engineer, and I was just like, this is crazy, really, really cool. But, it's a cool novelty thing, right? To have a podcast you listen to in the car, but also it's going to draw insights from this data that, we can't draw. And it's going to look at industries and other performance of other people. It's like, hey, we see in the trucking industry that these trade lines help with this, and maybe you should look at this, and your spending habits should go over here, and kind of summarize like what your agenda is for the next month. And so we're really excited about that tool.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And so, yeah, it sounds very innovative, and I'm sure all the, your customers, entrepreneurs, even new people who are new to the platform, that may draw them to the platform. So, yeah, that's
Yeah, we're
amazing.
trying to create actionable insights because FairFigure is a stepping stone, right? You're not
Yeah.
coming to FairFigure to get 100,000 and build a business. That's not what we're here for. You come check your scores, build your trade lines. You can take the FairFigure card. You get $500, maybe up to $2,000, $3,000 on it. You make your payment performance. You build your scores, and then you can move on to that next step. So
Right. Yeah, and that's what I try to, share with people and even clients that I work with, the importance of really making sure that the foundation of the business is, set up properly. And it's okay to start small with either those vendor accounts or smaller cards, credit cards, charge cards, whichever, and then work your way up to, the higher amount, the bigger funding. Sometimes I know entrepreneurs, we want to, from the get-go,
yeah,
get it all, that 100K, 200K, but it's okay to build up. And I love that this platform, I love how it's set up to help smaller entrepreneurs build and monitor their scores and understand their scores, the insights and all of that, because it's one thing to just get a score, look at it, okay, what's my score? But do you truly understand it? The insights, what's affecting your score, the trends, all of that. So that's amazing.
yeah, it comes into like the name of our report. So like our display of all the reports is the foundation report because that is your foundation. That's your rock that you're supposed to build your, empire on. But yeah, definitely on the education thing, we see, there's a lot of information out there now. Anyone can hop on TikTok and film a video, and anyone can hop on YouTube and film a video and say whatever they want. And that video will go viral and people believe it as the truth. And a lot of the times information that you get online is not really accurate. So
Mhm.
people come in with expectations that, I could set up my LLC and get $50,000 tomorrow, no PG. That's not true. But there are steps you could take to get that 50,000 no PG. So we want to be an educational resource for the customer and help guide them on their path.
Yeah, that's amazing. Earlier, you said something about Dun Bradstreet. I'm not sure if it was Dun Bradstreet pulling out of, or other corporations pulling out of reporting to Dun Bradstreet. I have noticed something like that the past, I would say, at least a year now, where there are
hmm
companies who used to, or vendors who used to report to Dun Bradstreet, they're no longer reporting, and it's been
Yeah,
a
I think
change.
you're going to see that change this year. I think they realize that the backbone of America is Main Street USA, and it is. Your food has to get delivered on a truck. Everyone's getting their haircut. When you're hungry, you go to the pizzeria. Small business is the heart of America. So I think they're retargeting their shift to realize how important small business is, and they're more welcoming to companies like us and smaller businesses to accept their data and help build them.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Okay, so what would you say distinguishes FairFigure's business credit monitoring services from other platforms in the marketplace? I know you mentioned some stuff before, but I'd love for you to share that a little bit further. Also, if you could just share with the audience a little bit more about the FairFigure credit card, maybe like how is it that a business owner or an entrepreneur can be qualified for this card. I did share I did share some insights on a previous episode. You guys watching this episode, feel free to go check that out. But you can just give us a brief overview of that.
Okay, yeah, I'll start with the card product and then I'll go into differentiators. The card product, so this one's interesting. It's not a credit card, it's not a charge card. This is a business credit building card. So you sign up and our pre-qualifications are minimal. You need 3 months in business, at least $2,500 in revenue, and that's about it. So this is a micro funding amount. So the way it's structured is you apply, we underwrite, you'll be presented two offers, either a 4-week payback term or an 8-week payback term. You could take an amount $250 up to maybe $2,000. We send that full money to a debit card in your company name. You spend it on supplies. You could use it for other vendors, whatever you'd like. You make your payments back on it. We give you higher limits if you want a renewal, and we report all those payment performances to the bureaus. So it's a real starter card. It could be used in place of certain Net 30 vendors, or you could use them with Net 30 vendors. So we see people stacking them. So they'll use the FairFigure card. They'll get their trade line there. They'll get their monitor, and then they'll use their FairFigure card to go pay for Quill or Uline or whatever Net 30 vendor. They just got 5 trade lines doing one thing. So it's a really cool product. There's no personal guarantee. We don't run your personal credit. It's a real entry starter product, and people love it. It's a little bit different than other products that are out there. There's some Net 1 charge cards. You have your Net 30s where you buy some hats and mugs and stuff like that. But, with the FairFigure card, you could actually go use it for gas. You could go use it for inventory, whatever you need to use it for. So that product is really great, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback on it over the past year. So you get a virtual card instantly, so you add it to your Apple or Google Pay. Tap and pay, whatever you want with that. So it's been a great product. And that kind of leads into like what our differentiators are. We're not corporate at FairFigure. It's me, my co-founder. We have our engineers here, customer service over there, design over here. We're able to move quick and listen to the customer because we're interacting with the customers every day. That's a big differentiator, is that we're able to move quick. When we propose an idea that customers have, they say, hey, I don't like this button. This is confusing. In 2 days, we could go make that change. There's not bureaucratic red tape on that. And how I like to look at us is competition creates innovation, right? And if there's no competitors in the space and there's no innovation, and look at when cell phones came out. You had the Nokia flip phones and all that. Then one day iPhone came out. Steve Jobs changed the world. And I'm not comparing ourselves to iPhone in any way, but I think that having us in the space is going to spur innovation from us and from other competitors. So by supporting FairFigure, you're supporting change and progress in the whole space.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you guys have a really good product. I have to say, because I've studied, I've studied this industry, different products out there, and I think it's a really unique product, especially for newer entrepreneurs who may not be making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per month, but at an entry level, they can still get in and get that. That's also EIN only, which is
Yep. Well, you do have to put your social, but that's just
right.
for KYC, KYB. It's banking legislation, but we're not using it to pull anything. It's just federal mandated for anti-money laundering.
Yeah, I did share that as well too on that previous podcast episode. The whole know your customer thing, you have to select verify.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot. Like even with like other net vendors and like Sam's Club and stuff like that. Like people come in, it's like, oh, I thought it's EIN only. It's like, yes, it's based on your EIN, but because of federal regulation, you have to know who your customer is to,
Right.
stop fraud or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. I still have to verify your identity. That's amazing. Okay, so are there any new features or services that, well, you did mention some earlier, but is there anything else that you guys plan to introduce in the near future to further support small businesses?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the AI tool because this is V1 of it. So it's going to give you insights, but I'm excited to see what direction that goes in. I'm sure you all see how much AI is changing our world already. Again, it's like when the first iPhone 1 came out and you're like, wow, this is incredible. Now we have these amazing things. So I'm excited to see where that goes with that. We have some like little like, I call them like Easter eggs, like fun stuff coming out probably in the next week or so. Premium users could choose their FairFigure skins. So you can put on dark mode and like different themes for your profile. It's a nice little feature to have. We're also creating like a rewards-based system. So as you interact with the platform, for instance, if you pay your FairFigure card on time, you can earn points. If you sign up for certain net vendors, you can earn points. If your score goes up and you're paying your bills across the board on the bureaus, you can earn points and then redeem those for partners or perks or maybe cashback, stuff like that. So really excited about that.
That's awesome. In light of the economic fluctuations, how is FairFigure adapting its services to better support businesses during these challenging times?
Yeah, interestingly enough, FairFigure really progresses when there's a downturn in the economy, which is counterintuitive to what you would think. And I looked into it and it's simple. I mean, you're working a job that you don't like, or you're not getting paid the right amount. We see a lot of truck drivers that are driving for years and they go, you know what? I want to go start my own trucking dispatch company. We see someone working at the salon chair and, they're not getting paid right or they're just fed up and they go, you know what? I want to go start my own salon. We see that every day and it's really cool. And it's just like, it's like this like American dream thing where it's like, okay, like if you don't like your job, like just go start your own. So we're excited to see that. And it's exciting to be a part of that entrepreneurial journey because I've been in those shoes as well. I've started my first business. I've run the Airbnbs. I had this, I've been there. So it's really cool being like at that ground floor and being able to give some of our advice and our experiences to the customers as well.
That's great. Well, you mentioned Airbnb. I have to ask you, I know it's a little bit off topic, but that's something
Mhm.
that I am familiar with and I do myself. You're not no longer doing Airbnb?
Nah, it must have been like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, 10 years ago? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were you doing it like as an official business or just kind of like a side gig thing, like renting a room in your?
It started, interestingly enough, in New York City at the time, and we connected with a landlord, and he was in the process, like an 8 unit building, and they're in the process of they wanted to demolish the building and build something new. But you have leases and tenants in there, so as their lease expires, then they leave. So there's one point where half the building was vacant and half the building had tenants, right? Because they're trying to get rid of the building. So you had all these empty units. So he goes, Aaron, I heard about this Airbnb thing. Do you want to do that? I was like, sure, let's do it. So we had quite a few units in New York City. It was with me and another buddy of mine. We ended up with 3 units down in Miami as well. So yeah, it was like a full-time business, and it's a lot of work. I didn't think it's a lot of people say it's like this passive, like just sit back and collect a check. No, it is not. Yeah, but it's an interesting business. I haven't really been in a while, so I don't know what the landscape is now. But um,
Yeah, it's not fully passive, but I guess it depends on how you set it up with like the automation system. Because I love the whole automation aspect of it. I guess if you implement like the right teams, systems,
well, 10 years ago we didn't have these tools.
oh
you
my
know,
God, you know what? That's what it is. I keep forgetting that
yeah.
you said 10 years ago. That was
Yeah,
pretty.
10 years ago, we had four different phones because you had to switch between the accounts and do this, and this. Now I
Oh
think
my
there's channel
goodness.
managers and there's automations and messaging, but it wasn't like that.
Yeah. Now you have automating messages, cleaning, integrating platforms, checking in process, all of that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I have to say though, I think most people today would have loved to have that opportunity just kind of like fall in your lap
Yeah.
like that. Because
Yeah.
today, a little bit harder. It's a little bit more complex with partnering with landlords. So,
Yeah, especially too with like the legal landscape now of things. Now it's more
mhm,
on the radar. Like 10 years ago, like no one really knew about it.
yeah,
Um, so it's kind of like the Wild West of Airbnb, I guess.
yeah. Wow, awesome. Okay, so as CEO, right, what principles guide your leadership and how do you foster innovation within the Fear Figures team?
Yeah. I think it's most important for any CEO and any business owner in general. You need to listen to your customers. And when I say listen, I say active listening. So sometimes someone will make a comment, it'll be like a rude remark, and like your automatic ego, right, is to come back and defend yourself. It's like, no. Like, even if what they said you don't agree with, there's something in what they're saying, like context to it, that we need to listen to because it's a frustration point. And you look at Amazon built its company because the customer is always right. Like, it really is. And I know it sounds tacky to say, but if you go on Amazon and the toothpaste you like wasn't the right one or something, you click a button, they'll refund you, no questions asked. So I think it's really important to listen to your customers, listen to their comments, listen to their feedback, listen to their pain points, and meet with your team weekly to discuss these things. It's not just you versus them. It should never be you versus them. It's us all working together.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. And what key advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs looking to build and maintain strong business credit?
To build and maintain strong business credit. First one, simple, is like the journey is not instant. It could take time, and it's like anything. If you're in the gym, if you're practicing music, you're practicing art, it's not going to be perfect at first, but you need to be consistent with it. So make sure, when you get your invoices from a net 30 vendor, if you decide to use them, pay the bill on the day it's due. If you want to take a little pause on the business, it's not working out, that's fine. But just make sure everything's settled up, because a negative remark is going to set you back. And you spent all this time and money, setting up your company, setting up your dream, and you could really mess it up over something stupid like you forgot to pay for a hat. So just be consistent, track everything, and be patient with the process.
Yeah. That is so good. That was so good.
Thank
Okay,
you.
this is an amazing episode. First of all, thanks for joining. I'm happy that you could be a part of today's episode. We definitely covered a lot today, and by the way, for those of you who are interested in FairFigure, I'll be sure to have a link in the description, in my description, that you can click on and you can go to. You can sign up and apply for the business credit card. Okay, start building your business credit, especially if you're just starting out, and also check out the other resources available as well. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're happy to have you. Thank you for having me on the podcast. I always appreciate just getting to talk to, our partners and friends and hear, your questions and comments, stuff like that. So I appreciate you. And for anyone that's not on the platform, we're welcome to have you. We're excited to have you on board. If you guys are already part of the platform, I want to thank you for being part of this journey. We made a lot of progress in the past year and really excited for 2025.
That's exciting. This was so much fun. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Let's definitely do this again for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.